Hi, everyone. I think in the last class we discussed about some variables, data types, and basic examples. Today we'll discuss about conditional statements. Very powerful topic. Conditional statements. So first of all, you must know what is a condition. What is a condition? Simply you can tell a condition is used to compare. A condition is used to compare two values or variables or expressions and return a boolean value either true or false either true or false. Is it clear? There are different types of conditional statements are there. Conditional statements means what? The statements that will get executed based on the condition are called as conditional statements. Actually, first of all, you must have the knowledge on control statements. Actually, let us see what is control statements. Control statements means the statements. It is a mechanism of controlling the flow of execution of the statements. Control statements are used to control the flow of execution of the statements. And these control statements are basically divided into two types. One is conditional control statements. Other one is looping statements. Another one is looping statements. Conditional control statements and looping statements. Conditional control statements again divided into two types. One is if, other one is switch case. Under if, different varieties are there. First one is only if, second one is if else, next one is else if, multiple if, nested if. These all comes under conditional control statements. Nested if. Looping control statements are again different types are there. Like two types of loops are there. One is range based loop, other one is condition based loop. Range based loop is for loop. For loop comes under range based loop. While loop and do while loop comes under condition based loop. While loop and do while loop. So conditional statements are used to control the flow of execution of the statements. Conditional statements are basically divided into two types. One is control statements are basically divided into two types. One is conditional control statements, other one is looping control statements. Is it clear? Statement is nothing but a small piece of code. What is a statement? Every line in the program is called as a statement. Statements are the executable part of the program. There are different types of statements are there. First one is simple statements are there. Simple statements are also called as single line statements. Similarly, here you have compound statements are there. Simple statements, compound statements. Similarly, declarative statements. Similarly, some input statements, output statements, conditional statements. There are different types of statements are there. Conditional statements, looping statements, jumping statements. Like different types of statements are there. Jumping statements. Sir, no. Incremental or iterative statements. Like lot of statements are there. Simple statements are single line statements. Simple statements are nothing but simply you can call as variable declarations. These all single line statements are called simple statements. Compound statements are nothing but what? Group of statements. If you want to perform any operation or task, group of statements, and if you want to write multiple statements, you can write inside the block. This bracket open, bracket close. Here you can ask me one question: what is block? What is block? Simply you can tell the code that was written within this flower braces is called as block. When to go for block means whenever you want to group some set of statements, then you have to keep inside the block. Declarative statements means some variable declarations. These all variable declarations means int x semicolon. That is also one statement. Okay, na? Input statements, variable initializations, int x is equal to 10, int y is equal to 20. These all are input statements. Output statements are printing the output. Console.writeLine. If you're a C#.NET students, you write console.writeLine of print some output value. That is output statement. If you are Java background, system.out.println of print some variable. This is called as output statement. Conditional statements. If you want to take any decision before executing the statement, if you want to take any decision, then you have to go for conditional statements. For example, if 10 greater than 5, 10 greater than 5 is condition. If the condition is true, then I want to print some message welcome. So this is a statement. This is a condition. So when this statement must execute when the condition becomes true. The statement that will get executed when the condition becomes true. That type of statement is called as conditional statements. If, else if, multiple if, is all. Looping statements means for loop, while loop comes under looping statements. Conditional statements you can achieve by using if else if, multiple if, else if, multiple if, nested if. This all comes under conditional statements. Looping statements are loops, for loop, while loop, do while loop. These all comes under looping statements. Jumping statements, that is from go to, continue. This all comes under jumping statements. For example, if you have 10 lines of code is there in your program. So if I want to jump from one line to another line, so let us assume here I'm line number 4. Now once one came to line number 4, it has to automatically go to line number 9. So if you want to move the control from one line to another line within the same program, you can go for jumping statements. So the most important statements are conditional statements. Java does not support go to statements. That is not required. Logical programs mostly focus on conditional statements, loops. That is important. Here today we are not here to discuss about Java features and all these things. We all came here to become strong in logics, concentrate in that area. Okay, na? Now again you have one by one, you can see only if. Only if means what? One by one we'll see. The statements that will get executed. The statements that will get executed when the condition was true. When the condition was true. Syntax for only if is if some condition. If some condition. And here bracket open, bracket close. Here you can write some statements. That is only if. The statement that will get executed when the condition is true. The type of statement is called as only if. That is. Next, if else. If else means it is used to check the condition. It is used to check the condition and return a Boolean value. And return a Boolean value, either true or false. A Boolean value, either true or false. That is called as if else. Is it clear? The statements that was written, inside if, the statement that was written inside if will get executed. Will get executed when the condition was true. When the condition was true. The statements that was written inside else. The statements that was written inside else will get executed when the condition is false. When the condition is what? False. Syntax for if else is Here you can write if condition, if true, then execute this statement. Else, execute this statement. This is if else. Only if else. Next one, else if. Else if means it is used to check multiple conditions. It is used to check multiple conditions and execute only one, that is else if. Syntax for else if is if condition statements. Else if condition statements. Else if condition statement. This is else if. It is used to check multiple conditions and execute only one condition. Multiple if. Syntax you have to by heart, but requirement you have to understand which requirement we have to use which conditional statements. That clarity you must have. Multiple if means it is used to check multiple conditions. It is used to check multiple conditions and execute only one. And execute, used to check multiple conditions and execute multiple conditions. Syntax if condition statement. But as a developer, you must know when to use which one. That is very, very important. I will explain. This is multiple if. Only if else if, multiple if. Next one is nested if. Nested if. The inner condition will get executed. The inner condition will get executed when the outer condition was true. The inner condition will get executed when the outer condition was true. That is nested if. Are you following? Nested if syntax is if inside only if. If inside only if. That is nested if. If inside only if. Otherwise, if inside if else. That is also nested if. If inside if else. If inside if else. That is also nested if. If inside only if. If inside if else. That is also nested if. Is it clear? Similarly, if inside else if. If inside else if. That is also nested if. If inside only if. If inside if else. If inside else if. If inside else if. Is it clear? That is also nested if. If condition. Again you can write here else if. And again here you can write else if. If inside only if. That is nested if. If inside if else. That is nested if. If inside else if. That is also nested if. The inner condition will execute only when the outer condition is true. Are you following? Coming to another one. If inside nested if. That is also nested if. Logics are very important. Try to concentrate. Definitely, first round, if you want to clear in any interview, logics will play the major role. Today's generation, you people don't have patience, and you people don't. Many people are depending on their luck. Actually, they're not ready to do hard work. If your attitude is like that, getting job is also very, very difficult, and it is like a miracle. Please try to change your way of thinking, all of you. I'm seeing a lot of students' point of view, companies' point of view. Companies are not compromising for quality. Students are not spending the time, not practicing. Just they're thinking that if I attend 1 hour class, I'll get the job. That attitude is very difficult to survive in IT industry. Okay. So different varieties I told you, very good. Now you are in a dilemma, in a confusion. Sir, you told different varieties only if else. You told only if else if, multiple if. So tell me in what scenario we have to use which one? Which conditional statements will fit for our requirement? That is the main thing actually. The statements that will get executed based on the condition are called as conditional statement. First check the condition. Whenever we want to take any decision, then we have to go for conditional statements. The statement that will get executed when the condition is true. Okay. So depending on the requirement, you must know. Let us assume I'll show you some requirements. You tell which conditional statements fit for this particular requirement. That is very important. You have to take one decision. Are you following? For example, I have a requirement something like this. Here I have a requirement. Enter a number. And here I'll try to take one button. Check. Means some scenarios, real-time scenarios, when to use which one. Enter a number. Here I have one text box. And here I have one button is there. Is it clear? So whenever the user will enter any number here in the text box and click on this button, if I give the number as 5, check whether the given number is even number or odd number. Check whether the given number is even number or odd number. So first, you have to decide whether the given number is even number or odd number. Means what are the possible outputs for this program 2? Okay, na? Any number divisible by 2. Any number divisible by 2, remainder is 0. Then it is even number. Otherwise odd number. So here what are the possible outputs you may get to? Either even or odd. So you can use if else in this scenario. Is it clear? For example, if I ask you enter first number, and here I will write something like enter second number. Enter first number, enter second number. And here I want to check that which number is greater. Which number is greater? This is my first number, one text box. Enter second number, one more text box. Are you following? Out of these two, you have to check that which number is greater. So there are different possibilities are there. For example, in my requirement, I have 5 and 4. That is requirement number 1. Similarly, if I have 3 and 5, that is requirement number 2. Or in another scenario, if I give different inputs like 6 and 6. So if I give the first two, if I give the first scenario, if I give 5 and 4, who is big? 5 is big. 3 and 5, 5 is big. 6 and 6, both are equal. So what are the possible? Either first number may be big or second number may be big or both may be equal. So in this scenario, you have to check more than one condition. So use else if in this scenario. You have to check multiple conditions and execute only one condition. Then use else if. Check only one condition, either true or false. Use if else. Check whether a given number is even number or odd number. Use if else. Is it clear? This is very simple program. If else. If here if I write some logic, number modulus 2 is equal to 0, then print what? Even number. Otherwise, print what? Odd number. So use if else. As a developer, you have to take the decision when to use which one. Second, now display which number is greater among the given two numbers. Use else if. Is it clear? For example, here you can write if first number x greater than y, then you can consider who is big, x is big. Else if y greater than x, who is big, y is big. Y is big. Else who is big, both are equal. Else both are equal. This is what else if you can use. First scenario, check even or odd. Use if else. Okay, na? Check which number is greater among the given two. Use else if. Depending on the requirement, you have to choose. Any developer, you can write this logic in your own programs. Similarly, enter a number. Enter a number, and here I will try to write some check. I want to check whether given number is positive or negative. Any number, again, three possibilities are there depending on the requirement. If the number is greater than or equal to 0, you can consider as positive. Otherwise, negative. Some scenarios, if they ask, write a program to check whether the given number is positive or negative, or is it clear? Enter a number. Check whether a given number is positive or negative. Is it clear? So here if I give the number as 5, simply I can tell something like this. If number greater than or equal to 0, then display positive number. Otherwise, display negative number. Simple. Is it clear? Check whether given first number is, here it is, even or odd. Here, which number is greater among the given two. Next one is check whether even or odd. This is even or odd. Positive or negative. Like this, you have to take a decision. As a developer, you have to take a decision when to use which one. That clarity you must have. Are you following everyone? The main job of developer is to take the decision. Similarly, here you can see some other requirement. Enter username, enter password, confirm password. I have some Gmail registration form is there. Enter address, enter age, enter phone number. Here I have one button called register. Now I have a requirement. I have some small registration form is there. Enter username, one text box. Here enter password, one more text box. Confirm password, one more text box. Enter address, one text box. Enter age, one text box. Enter phone number, one text box. Register button. So here this is my registration form. You're working in a company, then he will ask, is it clear everyone? You're working for a particular company. Now there is a requirement, something like what? You have to display the error messages. If the user is not giving any input, then it has to display some error messages. Like username must not be empty, password must not be empty, confirm password must not be empty, age must be between 18 and 25, phone number must allow only numbers, phone number must not be empty. Like, so if you want to display error messages, now you have to take a decision. So here two requirements are there. One is display all the errors at a time. Display all the errors at a time. That is one requirement. So if you want to display all the errors at a time, what to do? Use multiple if. Multiple if. So display only one message at a time. Display only one message. After rectifying the first error message only, you have to rectify the next error message. Then use what? Else if. So as a developer, you have to take some decision when to use which one. For example, you can use any website like j1sati.com. If you open this website, before executing one statement or before executing one logic, you have to take some decision. Then use conditional statement. See here, if the user is not giving any input and directly click on this button, is it clear? It has to display the error messages. So now that is the requirement given by your senior. Now you have to ask to your senior whether I have to display all the errors at a time or I have to display only one error at a time. If I want to display only one at a time, after rectifying that, if I want to go for another means, use else if. You have to use what? Else if. If you want to display all the errors at a time means you have to use what? If else. Are you following everyone? Mostly we'll perform this type of validations in JavaScript. There also we'll use these conditional statements only. See here, all the errors are coming at a time. Did you understood? So as a developer, you have to take a decision that when to use which conditional statements. The statement that will get executed based on the condition. In Java students in servlets, you have to create this form, or .NET students in ASP.NET, you will create this form. After creating the form, if the requirement is something like display all the errors at a time, then use multiple if. Display only one error at a time. After rectifying that one error, you can rectify the next error. Use else if. Depending on the requirement, we have to take the decision. Okay, na? Similarly, if I write some, I have another requirement. Select bank. Select bank. Here you can select some bank like State Bank of India, like Axis Bank, like ICICI Bank. Select bank. Some radio buttons are there. State Bank of India, Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, and here some such button is there. So you can select only one bank. You can select only one bank among group of banks. You cannot select more than one bank. You can select only one bank. Did you understood? So then means you have, out of three you can select only one. Use else if. In this, when you connect to, when you do any online shopping application or anything, the application will give the flexibility for the end user to select the bank. So end user can select what? Bank. but he cannot select all the banks. He can select only one bank. If when user select the SBI bank, it will connect to SBI bank server. Axis bank, it will connect to Axis bank server. Something like that. Select bank. So use else if in this type of scenario. Similarly, select account. 3 radio buttons else if. Only 2 are there, if else is enough. Select account. Like I have something like 2 types of accounts are there. One is savings account, other one is current account. So customer want to withdraw the money. Before that, he has to select the account or transfer the money through online. So you can select only one. So use if else. More than 2 radio buttons, else if. Similarly, if I have a requirement like this, select course. Select course. Here the one student can select more than one course, like .NET, he can select Java or Python. He want to learn more than one course. Possibility is there. So let us assume that application development, here you have some checkbox will be there. Checkbox. It is used to select more than one item among group of items. Radio button, only one you can select among two. Checkbox, it is used to select more than one item among group of items. Checkbox mostly use multiple if. Checkbox mostly use multiple if. Radio buttons, 2 radio buttons if else. 3 radio buttons else if. Checkbox multiple if. Depends on the requirement. As a developer, you must know when to use which one. Okay, at the time of application development, you have to use these conditional statements. The statements that will get executed based on the condition are called as conditional statements. Here different conditional statements are there. So check whether a given number is even or odd, if else. Check which number is greater among the given two numbers. You can use else if. Okay, now check whether the given number is positive or negative. Use if else. If any number greater than or equal to 0, that is positive number, otherwise negative number. If else you can use. And display all the error messages at a time. Use multiple if. Display all the errors at a time. Use multiple if. Display only one error among group of error messages. After rectifying one error only, display the second one. Use else if. Check whether select the bank. The customer can select only one bank at the time of online shopping. He cannot transfer 500 from one account, 300 from another account. So when you these buttons are called as radio buttons. Radio button you can select only one among group of items. Use else if. Select account, either savings or current. Only one you have to select. Use if else. 2 radio buttons if else. More than 2 else if. Checkboxes multiple if. It is used to select more than one item among group of items. Use multiple if. So as a developer, you must know when to use which conditional statements. Are you following everyone? As a developer, you must know in your Java, you can write some program. Will you try some programs? Simply you can write a program to accept a number. Write a program to accept a number from console. Write a program to accept a number from console and check whether the given number is even or odd. I will write the program in Java first, then I will write in .NET. In Java, how to write the program? You can write class name, demo. Is it clear? And here you can declare the main method, some static void main, public static void main string args. Public static void main. Here you can give string args. Bracket open, bracket close. I asked the user to enter the number. So whenever you want to read any number from console, then you have to use scanner class. Actually, in Java you have scanner class is there. Is it clear? Whenever you want to read the input from console at runtime, then you have to use this scanner class, especially Java students. First I will tell you how to use this scanner in Java. Okay, we have to read the input from console runtime. So simply I will try to explain. If anybody wants scanner class, how to work with scanner class, I kept in my YouTube. You can type scanner class by Kannababu. You can watch. Import java.util.scanner. Import the package. And here there is a predefined class called scanner. Create an object for that class. Scanner sc is equal to new scanner of. Here you can write system.in. System.in. And then I will try to enter the number. So here I can write something like system.out.println of, I will ask the user to enter a number. Enter a number. So I'll try to store that number in one variable. Int number is equal to sc dot next int. Okay, now int number is equal to sc dot next int. It is used to read the input from console. It is used to read the input from console. Are you following? Next int. Now I want to check whether the given number is even number or odd number. So here I can write if number modulus 2 is equal to 0. I want to check one condition. If any number divisible by 2, remainder is 0, then I want to print system dot out dot println of I want to print even number. Otherwise, I want to print odd number. Only one statement, no need of block. More than one statement, block is required. Otherwise, print odd number. This is the program in Java actual. This is the program in Java. Did you understood everyone? So now if you want, I will save the program also. I think in my laptop, in my machine, Eclipse, JDK, all softwares are there. So I can show you. .NET is not there. Separately, I will keep .NET also. Save the program. This is my program now. Save the program. Control S. Go to your E drive. There I can see one folder with name Logics 2021. And there I'll try to save. Save always Java program, save with class name. Here I'll try to save demo.java. Click on save. Demo.java, click on save. Use of scanner class to read the input from console. Read the input at runtime. Okay, here for line number 1, what it will do? It will print a statement, enter a number. Now user will try to enter some number. No, I'll give the input as 5. Now I want to read this input from the console and store in one variable. For that we'll use scanner class. If you want more about scanner class, go to YouTube and watch. Now this is not Java class or .NET class, just logical class now. So I'm not interested to discuss about the scanner class right now. If you are very much interested, you can just go to YouTube and there you can type scanner by Kannababu, you will get. Did you understood everyone? This is the Java students program. Save the program and open your command prompt. I'll try to run this program. Let us see where my program was saved. Let us see here. Go to F drive, I think so. Saved the program in which drive? E drive. Huh? Go to my computer. Go to E drive. There you can see Logics 2021. There I saved. So change the path here. E colon enter. CD space. Logics 2021. And then compile the program. Java C space demo.java. Enter. Execute the program. Java space demo space Java. I think Java space demo. Java space demo. Sorry. Now ask me to enter a number. I'll enter the number 5. 5 is odd number. Again execute. Enter the number 6. 6 is odd number. Even number. Again enter number 7. 7 is odd number. So my program is working perfectly. There's no Telegram link here. Please try to join in this group. My FB group you can join, everyone. I'll try to share the notes in these groups. Join that groups. Other people also, YouTubers also, if you want, you can Click that link. Now in .NET, what to do? C# .NET, how to write the program? Same. Here you have tried using system. Namespaces will be there. Declare the namespace. And here you can write class name A. Here you can write the main method. Static void main. M is capital. Here also bracket open, bracket close. And here you can print one statement. Console.writeLine. Console.writeLine of. I'll ask the user to enter a number. Enter a number. Store the number in one variable. Int number is equal to int.parseOf console.readline. So there you have scanner class. In Java, in .NET you have console.readline. But console.readline will read the input in the form of string. So typecasting is required. Did you understood? And here I'll try to write some logic. If number modulus 2 is equal to 0, then I want to print console.writeLine of. Console.writeLine of. Here I'll try to print one message saying that even number. Otherwise, I want to print one message saying that odd number. Are you following? This is the C# .NET program. This is Java program. Small differences are there. That's it. But syntax is fixed. Everything is fixed. Java .NET 90% is everything is same. Only minute differences will be there. Okay, like this you can work with logical programs. Conditional statements. Logical programs. Java and C# program. Okay, everyone. You can use convert.toInt32 also. Yes. Anything will work. Okay. That's it. Try to practice these programs. Catch you later in the next.